Welcome to a new project, renovating a vintage horizontal twin-cylinder model steam engine. This is part 1. And in part 1 I'm going to have a good look and see what's wrong with it. Some things are immediately apparent. It's quite rusty, and the main steam inlet pipe is missing. Other things will probably come to light as I dismantle the engine. In this first episode, it's a quick look at what I've got to play with. In my previous project, I was working on what I call a workshop type engine, a small steam engine but designed to do real work. This small steam engine is a model engine. It's been built that way. It's built from brass, which looks nice, takes a good degree of polish but doesn't wear very well, and it's not designed for doing proper work. But as part of a steam engine collection, which is what this engine is, it's a great addition to the collection. It really does look good. It is very well built. It looks like it's been built by a proper engineer. The engine rotates very freely by turning the flywheel by hand, but I'll find out how good this engine really is when I put some compressed air into it shortly. There is one thing that worries me a great deal. Well, two things to be exact. On top of the cylinders, there are 2 blanking plugs. I made these and fitted them to plug up the holes, but it means that right in the centre of the cylinder there is a hole, and this is a problem. A while back I rebuilt a large horizontal steam engine, and this also had a hole in the middle of the cylinder for a lubricator, and that's fine if you're using piston rings that are made from cast iron or even gunmetal, but if you're using soft packings or silicone O-rings, this is a no-no. That is because the hole in the centre of the cylinder will damage the piston's sealing material every time the piston passes over it. One slight bonus of not having inlet pipes to the steam chest is that I can test each side of the engine separately. By running one side at a time, the engine of course is not self-starting unless the crank is precisely in the right position, but it gives me an idea how good the engine is. The first cylinder that I tested with air definitely has a blow on it. This could of course be the slide valve, but it's more likely to be the piston seal. When I go over to the other cylinder and apply exactly the same amount of compressed air, the engine runs a lot faster. So events are definitely better on one side than the other. I'll find out in due course what the problem is once I dismantle the engine. At least the engine runs, that's a bonus. Sometimes they don't run at all. Over now to the cosmetic state of the engine. This is the cladding on the cylinder, made from steel, and it's very rusty. Maybe I should replace it, but I don't like doing it on renovations. I like to keep the things as original as possible. I'm applying some sandpaper to the connecting rods. These are really badly pitted, so I'm going to have to do quite a lot of this to get through the rust and expose the metal. They're actually so bad in places, I think I may have to paint them. It will of course be easier when I've dismantled the engine. I do not intend to just rub it with sandpaper in situ. Even after a good rub at the top of the connecting rods, you can see they still look a little bit pitted. The video doesn't show it quite as bad. Oh, it did then as the light changed. But yes, the pitting is very deep on these connecting rods. I'll decide what to do about these connecting rods once I get the thing apart. Once I wipe the connecting rods with a piece of cloth, you can see the extent of the pitting. It's really not good. And on the crankshaft it's even worse. This model steam engine was bought from the internet auction site that we all know and love, and the photographs didn't show it in such detail that you could see all the rust like you're seeing it now. It would probably take less time to make a new crankshaft, but this is not what it's about. I'm trying to do sympathetic restorations, not new engine builds. This is the end of part 1. Full disassembly starts in part 2. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful.